Here are 3 things I learned when buying my first jet. I hope that you guys learned something new, but first, let me know what you guys think about my license plate. All right, let's get right to it. Now, one of the first things that I learned is the cost of fuel. Again, I had my assumptions of what it would cost per gallon. Can you guys guess, especially with gas prices being super high? Can you guys guess right now before I share it in the comment section, what would be your guesstimate price per gallon for a jet? It's not just small jets, but it's just jet fuel in general. So when we picked this thing up in North Carolina and we flew it back to Arizona, we made a stop in Oklahoma. It's one of the cheaper stops. This price per gallon, so they fill it up for you, was $4.38. The most expensive one was one of our stops in Memphis, Tennessee. If I'm not mistaken, it was a private airport, and it was $4.68. Still not super bad. In Arizona, the average is right around $5 per gallon, but when thinking about a jet, at least for me and the assumptions that I had, it was much cheaper than I expected. Let's go in very quickly. Again, it's a super small jet. It is old, but we're gonna talk about that in just a little bit. It's kind of like when you get your first car. It's like an old, janky Honda Civic. This is my old janky Honda Civic. Now, one of the things that I want to share with you guys is the second thing that I learned when buying a jet. And it's, well, how much does it cost to register it or to file it with the FAA? Can you guys guess? Again, guess in the comment section. This just caught me off guard. Now, this is for a jet that's older than 35 years old in the state of Arizona. It costs $25 when filing it under my business. Pretty crazy, right? $25. Now, I have learned that in the state of Arizona, if I'm not mistaken, this is what I was told, when filing a jet under your company's name or under your name, if it's newer than 35 years old, it's 1% of the value of the plane. In my opinion, that's still not that bad. I mean, I remember living in California and being charged 6 to 8% just in sales tax and registration. There's a helicopter flying right above me. Isn't this freaking crazy? This is just what happens 24/7 here at a small little private airport. I get to have conversations with these guys. This guy next to me has a bigger jet, and then the jet next to that one's even a bigger one. Obviously, I would probably never interact with people of that caliber. It's just crazy. It's crazy to think that buying something even as small as this jet can potentially lead to networking opportunities that weren't even my initial intent. All right, and now one of the last things that I want to break down is my third thing that I learned when buying a jet, and that was most jets, especially newer jets, especially if they're bigger, they require 2 pilots. That can be very, very expensive. This jet, which is a Citation Cessna Citation 501, it only requires 1 pilot. It's considered a smaller jet. It fits about 5 people in the main cabin and then 2 people up there, right? The pilot and co-pilot. The really cool thing about this is that I've always been huge and super into, my girlfriend knows this about me, I've always been really into aviation. It's always fascinated me, but never did I ever think in my wildest dream that I would ever own a jet. Now I feel like I have no reason not to work towards getting my pilot's license, and that's what I'm working towards for 2023. How cool would it be, right? Now that I own this jet and I'm working towards buying more in the future, at any time I want to take a trip with my family, with my friends, with my business partners, that I can be the pilot and 5 other people can actually sit in this area, right? It just makes sense. And for 2023, that's actually what I'm going to be working towards, in actually getting my pilot's license. And because this jet only requires 1 pilot, I can actually do that. And I'm just so grateful for it. So again, these are 3 things that I learned when buying a jet. One of the things that I wanted to break down, or kind of just ask you guys, I'd be more than happy to make a video breaking down what it costs to own a jet. And I can reassure you, it's so much less expensive than what you would think. The reason I'm making this video is I want you to be aware of this like stigma of like owning a jet and or, you know, flying a jet is so unfathomable, because that's the assumption that I had when buying this. It's so not unrealistic. People that, you know, drive $500,000 cars is probably more challenging than, you know, actually buying a plane like this. And there's probably more incentives in buying a plane like this. And I guess I can just talk about that in a later video. I'll leave that up to you guys if you guys want to see more videos like this. drop a thumbs up. If you're a pilot, if you're someone in the aviation industry and you want to share some tips, I could possibly even have you on the channel because I know that I have a lot to learn, and I'm sure the people here on this channel would love to learn more as well. So I appreciate your time. Hope that I earned a thumbs up. Please consider subscribing. If you have any questions, feel free to reach out to me via Instagram, and that's that third link down below. Like always, let's make sure that we end the year on a green note. Take it easy, team.